Half an hour, wartime memories from rural Britain with village recollections of VE Day in Country Farm. That's after this week's edition of See Here.
Today is Victory in Europe Day.
"50 years ago, the war in Europe came to an end. The horrors of the war stole millions of lives. Soldiers were killed, houses were destroyed, and civilians died in the blitzes. People were systematically slaughtered in the gas chambers. This continued until the Allies finally defeated the Germans. And that day was known as Victory in Europe, when there was peace at last. But what does VE Day mean to deaf people? Well, I'm here in Portsmouth, the famous naval base, here at their deaf club, to find out some of their views on VE Day.
VE Day? Well, I was working. I was off repairing some houses that had been bombed during the Blitz. I then went over to Ilford to do some more work. Later that afternoon, I was told the war was over. We were delighted and jubilant. So I dropped what I was doing and went straight home. Later in the evening, I walked to central London and saw people flocking onto the trams, celebrating. Didn't have to pay, of course. It was free. They were having a good time. Then I went down to Piccadilly in central London and met my friends. Had a few drinks and walked down Whitehall where people lined the streets rejoicing. We walked as far as the GLC building opposite the river, and we stood and watched a fantastic firework display, right up until 2 a.m. Then I went home and slept.
Well, it was breakfast time on VE Day. We all sat down and ate. When the teacher came in and announced to everybody that the war was over. We all looked on gobsmacked. Marvellous, we all cheered. The teacher said, "We'll make a big bonfire." Great. So we threw in old shoes, clothes, anything we could find, including some new things, and chucked them all in and watched the bonfire blaze. It burnt for 3 days. Marvellous. Then we ate. Being wartime, there was a food shortage, but on VE Day, we all had huge helpings of bread and butter. Instead of the usual 1 or 2 pieces, we had bread stacked high for each of us, and we happily chomped away. It was wonderful.
Well, when the war was going on, we all worked really hard. But then VE Day came, and we all had a day off. We rejoiced and celebrated. Oh, it was really grand.
When the lights go on again, all over the world, and the ships will sail.
During wartime, I was arrested twice. For the life of me, I can't think why. I think it was because I had very blonde hair and they mistook me for a German or a spy. They dragged me by the arm down to the police station and interrogated me. They didn't believe I was deaf. I explained that I was. I tried to gesture that I couldn't hear at all, and finally they let me go home. Anyway, come VE Day, the war was over. I was so pleased and thought to myself, at least I won't be arrested again.
Well, it was strange, really. But the war helped deaf people with employment because everybody had to work, even women. So after the war, deaf people were still in full employment. It was good for deaf people who were so proud to be working.
Oh, there were feelings of great joy and jubilation because we'd won the war. It was over, and there was something worth celebrating. We didn't consider how many had suffered or died tragically because of the war. However, the ration continued. There was a shortage in clothes and everything for the following 10 years. It felt like the war hadn't really ended.
Hi, I'm deaf. I'm here to meet Rita.
I'll just ring her.
Okay. I'm here in Coventry Social Services, where they've learnt a great deal about deaf issues, and in particular due to the efforts of one person who works as a clerk in the finance department. She's won an award as a Young Deaf Achiever, and that person is Rita Mystery.
Royal Highness, I would be very pleased if you will come forward and present the award to our BT Special Award winner for 1994, Rita Mystery. Rita.
Hello.
You must be Marilyn.
Right, you're Rita.
Right, come on in.
It was brilliant seeing the minicom here at reception.
Well, I said they needed one. They've been trained. Come to my office.
Great, I need to see what you do.
My office is this way. It's number 142. There's a staff office too, opposite mine.
Oh, 2 offices.
Yeah.
Must be busy.
This is my office, number 142. I've been working here for the past 5 years. When I started in this office 3 years ago, it was really frustrating. Communication was difficult. People didn't ask me about it. I had to speak all the time, and that made me uncomfortable, doing it all day and lip reading too. The staff used to tease me, and some used sexual language, which made me feel really small. And they'd say, "You're deaf, what a shame." I couldn't stand it. Anyway, I talked to various members of the deaf community, and they gave me the strength and the thick skin to face my boss. So I told him how unhappy I felt and how I couldn't relate to staff because of the communication mode, because it was all wrong, and how I really wanted to use sign language. He was very understanding, and he found the funding through Equal Opportunities to send the staff on a deaf awareness training course to teach them basic signing skills. A person from the RNID related their experiences. That person was also an Asian deaf person and gave some background to the Asian culture. Well, after that, all the staff came up to me, all emotional and tearful, saying how they were now aware of what it was like for me, and they apologised. Now we're equal and communicate on even terms. Well, they're more tactile, they fingerspell, they're keen, and I encourage them all.
No, should be number 2.
Before, I think all we tended to do was think that she just needed to be informed. I think one of the things that we didn't take on board is that she needed to contribute. That was the missing link, really, is that she needed to be able to totally communicate with the office and be a part of it. And the only way that we could achieve that was by being more aware of what Rita's needs were. And clearly going on that course did allow us to do that.
Remember the password, computer, train.
Okay. In the last 3 years, everyone in Rita's department has received deaf awareness training. Other departments have installed minicoms, but some of Rita's work colleagues have gone a step further.
Rita organised deaf awareness training for everyone working here. When I went, I was so surprised because I'd never been there before, and I realised how difficult it was for Rita to lip read all day at work. I became interested in learning BSL after the deaf awareness training, which I'm paying for myself. So far I've passed stage 1, now I'm learning for the stage 2, and it's helped so much improving communication with Rita.
I wanted to learn more BSL. Rita was my teacher for stage 1, and all the students passed the exam, and we were so proud. Rita is a very good teacher.
And how did you feel when Rita won a Young Deaf Achiever Award?
Extremely proud. Everyone in the office went, and we saw the photographs in the Coventry Evening paper. We were so proud.
I really didn't want to tell them, but 4 of my friends were encouraging me by saying I should remember it as a positive thing. So I got up hesitantly and received my award and felt really proud. Couldn't believe that I'd won it for making an impact as the best communicator. It's made it very special, and also, well, I wanted to be a role model to other deaf people, to show them that they can do this too, and that they shouldn't be patronised by people. There are lots of confident deaf people out there, there really are.
Hi, I'm Mark Nelson. In January, See Here made a whole programme about the FYD, the Friends of the Young Deaf. After the programme, many of you wrote to us wanting to know more about them. So, See Here have come here to this special event, the Festival of Sport, here in Crystal Palace. I've been coming here since I was 7. They're very popular and great fun.
The aim of today
is for young, deaf and hearing people to meet each other and to try out sports on an equal basis. And that ties in with the FYD aim, which is to encourage young deaf people to be active members of society through a partnership with hearing people. Really, that means deaf and hearing people working together in partnership, and that gives deaf people the opportunity to take the lead.
The people here are both deaf and hearing. They've come here to try out some new sports and communicate and mix together. It's also an important chance for young people to put into practice some of the leadership skills they've learnt with the FYD.
Yes, this is the first time I've worked here. I only came for a visit, but someone asked me to help out and I thought it was a great idea. I'd love to. I feel really good about it. I've always loved football and I'm now giving something back to the kids by coaching them. There are no communication problems because there is communication support around and a couple of coaches. It's going to be a great day.
Good, lad, good, that's better, that's good, come on. Come on, push, push.
I think the Crystal Palace Sports Festival is a good opportunity for young people to get involved, deaf and hearing, get involved and to integrate. But also people who have been on FYD courses, leadership training courses, so they come here and they practice what they've learned on the course.
Ago, I went on an initiative course, and that was to encourage about learning how to work with deaf and hearing people together in the same group, and also how to communicate. I found it difficult actually, but it did give me the confidence to communicate with everybody. I mean, before events like this, with deaf and hearing people mixed together, because after all, you can't separate them. Anyway, my name was put onto a list, and then they asked me to help out here this year, and I said I'd like to come. I came to a workshop last Saturday to find out what the role of supervisor actually meant, and I learnt that communication had to be clear for everyone, and also that I had to make sure everyone understood the communicator who's here. It's partly my responsibility to make sure communication is clear to everyone, and also to make sure that the children are happy, and sometimes I may have to sort out any problems or report difficulties that crop up.
Says he's left. He thinks. Right. Just can you try it right? Okay, we'll try it right. Okay, we'll try it right. Okay. Try it right. Try it right. Okay. One. Good.
Okay, when you breathe, head up. No. You're not going to breathe at all, is that what you're saying? And straight back down again. Okay.
I was working at a play centre, which was a special needs play centre, and there was 4 or 5 deaf children that were very isolated, and I found it quite frustrating. I couldn't talk to them or communicate. I did try, but obviously quite difficult. So I inquired about the BSL and started to learn the stage 1. You know breaststroke? Yes? Oh! Gold medal! Since I finished swimming, it's been the only thing that's really interested me or challenged me in any way. Okay, we'll do some breaststroke. You show me some breaststroke? Yeah? Okay. Oh, excellent. I wrote to one of the people at FYD saying I wanted to get involved, and she said to come along, and if I'd like to coach, that would be fine. Where's your kick? That's it. Tired. Tired. Very good. Oh.
It's worth it. It's good fun. I like it so much. They provide the support. Oh, it's good for you. Keeps you fit. It's good. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to integrate deaf and hearing people because it's not often done. I mean, a lot of my friends don't understand deaf people.
Some kids in school won't listen to deaf kids because we sign. They won't even look at us. But most of them here, oh, they're good. They'll look at us when we're signing. It works well.
It's interesting. I learn about people. It gives me the confidence to meet people using BSL. And trying to share in learning new things helps me to develop, and I have a good time.
Everybody's really enjoyed themselves today. I can't wait to come back again next year. But before that, there will be more events over the summer. If you want to know more, the address to contact will be shown at the end of the programme.
I left school at 17 and thought about what I wanted to do in the future. Well, I decided to be a chef because I love cooking. I mean, I really love it. Off I went to college for 2 years and then qualified. When I got my certificate, I felt really proud. Anyway, I got work in hotels, restaurants and various places, and I was really happy. I really enjoyed it. After a while, I just couldn't eat meat anymore, or cook it, or even prepare it, and thought, what am I going to do? So I had to give up being a chef. I mean, I just had to follow my principles. Anyway, that was fine. But what was I going to do next? Well, the only skill I had was in catering. So I decided, forget about that, and I looked for work, but couldn't find any. I went to the job centre, and they said employers wanted people with experience and qualifications, but I just didn't have them. Anyway, I eventually spotted this one job, and that was for a road sweeper. I'm 31 now, and I've been sweeping roads for a long time. In fact, for the past 7 years. During that time, I've been trying to find other work or training or courses for me to learn other skills, but they just haven't been there due to a lack of access to information. So it's been really difficult to find anything, and that's why I'm still in this supposed temporary job. The area I work in is great, but there's just one thing that does bother me. I'll be happily sweeping away with great pride at leaving a nice clean road behind me. Then I'll turn around and see people throwing down food wrappings, and I think, thanks a lot. It's just the one thing that does bother me. The rest of it's fine. Now, you might not have seen me about when I'm working, but I do take a great deal of pride in my job. Make sure that everything's clean, I make sure all the rubbish is cleaned up and everything is spick and span. Now, members of the general public have been so impressed that they've written in. And because of that, I won a certificate, an award for being the best cleaner of the year. I was so delighted, I proudly hung it up on my wall at home. Okay, I'm a road sweeper, and I have been for a while, but I do have some talent, which I honestly feel is being wasted. In fact, it's been thrown away. Next week, I'm going to be looking into more information about access to courses, training, and stuff like that. Next week's programme will be linked to National Adult Learning Week. Now, I want to change my job. Maybe you feel the same, so do tune in next week for a variety of information. There'll also be a Minicom phone-in service where you can ring and we'll provide you with the information that you need. So don't forget, watch next week.